Hello and welcome. November 29th. Almost through 12 weeks of the NFL. Doesn't it go so fast? 3 months. It felt like we started 2 weeks ago. That's what happens when you play fantasy football. That's what happens when you watch football. It makes the autumn go by so quick. And we're almost in December. And it's time to separate the real ones from the fake ones. Of course, I'm talking about fantasy. Of course, I'm talking about reality. It's just when that happens, man. It just December, November, it usually breaks a lot of souls to see a lot of people breaking down in November, having to deal with their family, stress, stress, stress. I don't know why we put such a big emphasis on family. Seems like most people I know that get around their family get super stressed out, or they just kind of pretend to like each other for a little bit while they pursue their own interest. That's just my take on it. All right, let's get down to some review on some Sunday games. The Bengals destroyed the Steelers 41-10. Joe Mixon, man, how about it? 4 games in a row with 2 touchdowns. If you would have placed that bet, $100 on each game, you probably had over 1,000 pretty easy. Joe Mixon being the real deal, all pro running back, all that hate on Joe Mixon, all those people that this offseason people let you scare you off of Joe Mixon. How do you feel now? How you like that boy? I only have a few best ball shares of Joe Mixon, but he tore it up, man. Panthers 10, Dolphins 33. I did not expect that. I expected a little bit more from Cam. He had an awful game. PJ Tucker came in and had an awful game. Without CMC, that offense is nothing. All right? It doesn't matter if Cam's there. It doesn't matter if Sam Darnold's there. It doesn't matter if Teddy Bridgewater's there. Actually, Teddy Bridgewater did a lot better than they did without CMC. He's just everything for them. That's just the way it is. But they took a butt whooping 33-10. The Dolphins are starting to come on now. I think it's going to be a little bit too little too late. They just had such a slow, poor, awful start to the season, trying to find some kind of identity, trying to play some defense. But, the Dolphins end up getting the W. AFC East all of a sudden getting very competitive minus the Jets. Giants held on to a 13-7 win over the Eagles. Who knows? They just needed Jason Garrett for their defense. They needed to get rid of Jason Garrett to make their defense play better. Who had any clue? That's a divisional showdown. That was my lock bet of the week. I heard so many people say, lock of the week, lock it in. I listened to a lot of shows last week. There's no way the Eagles are losing in their New York Giant, in their New York, Brooklyn accent, Queen accent, wherever the hell they may be from. It was just like, oh, there's no way the Giants are beating the Eagles. The Eagles look like the real deal. Lo and behold, the NFC East is what the NFC East always is. 4 crappy teams that have no consistency, and one of them limp across the finish line and make it to the playoffs. That's the NFC East. The Titans at the Patriots, man. What a beatdown. What a good game to watch. The Titans are who I tell you they are. They're nothing. They're nothing without Derrick Henry. Their defense is doo-doo. But Beard came in and made a hell of a sack, man. That was a hell of a hit. It was a great defensive play. But the Patriots just dominating 36-13, playing great defense, more or less mistake-free offense, and they get the job done. That's just what it takes for the Patriots. That's going to be an interesting division, the AFC East. The AFC South, let's see, the Titans lost, the Jaguars lost, the Colts lost, and the Colts, Titans, Jaguars, and the Texans all lost. AFC South took 4 losses. No traction gained, none lost. Falcons at the Jaguars. Hello, Cordell Pimpin Patterson, baby. Welcome back. I needed you. My best ball teams needed you. My DFS lineups needed you. You won me some money, baby. Cordell Patterson, all-pro running back. The best running back on the year. I don't care. You can have Jonathan Taylor. I'll take Cordell Patterson. Buccaneers at the Colts. Colts started out with the lead. It disintegrated. The Bucs played great defense down the stretch. You got to love it. 38-31. Tom Brady. They don't have a defense. They're going to have to outscore everybody. But when their defense can step up and make turnovers, that's all you need from your defense in a big game. Buccaneers did the damn deal. Gronkowski, I had him in every single DFS lineup. What a play. What a play. You got to do that, man. Jets 21, Texans 14. Big defensive plays. I thought the Texans had this one in the bag, baby. I thought they had it. They didn't. They didn't at all. 21-14, Zach Wilson. Congratulations getting your win in Houston, baby. Chargers at Broncos. I did know the Broncos were going to win this game. It's too bad I had them parlayed. This game was over before it started, 14-0, pretty much. By into the first quarter, I believe. Picked off Justin Herbert. That's what I keep telling you guys about the Chargers. I do not know who they are. They can win a really close game if Justin Herbert's playing really well. Other than that, I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're a good defense. I don't know if they're a running team. I don't know if they're a passing team. I don't know if they're a team that closes out games at the end. I don't know if they're a team that comes back from games at the end. I do not know who the Chargers are. I had a very good feeling they were going to lose this game against Denver. You know, when you play in pretty SoFi and LA and everything's all about how you look and how you appear in the warm weather. Well, it's December, baby, and you are about to run into a lot of problems. A lot of problems. That's the problem with an LA team. You just have that pristine weather. But let me tell you something. The USA doesn't have pristine weather all over the country in December. And even if you're in LA, you're traveling. I mean, luckily, a lot of those teams are dome teams. I mean, but you still got Seattle. You got Denver. You got Kansas City. Those are just divisional games, man. So watch out for all you LA teams. I think that's a big problem being in LA. Vikings just couldn't get it done against the 49ers. 49ers are all of a sudden very hot. Look out, NFC West. The Rams are sputtering. The 49ers are coming on strong. It could be very interesting. Seattle, I don't expect anything from. But the 49ers, the team nobody really wants to see get hot. They started out really slow. They just needed to be healthy, I think, and their defense needed to figure out how to play. Secondaries came along, and they're doing a lot better. Still gave up 26 points, but Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, that's a good team. So shout out to the 49ers. That's probably the game of the week. I didn't get to see any of it, and it was probably the game of the week. Rams at Packers, another one that was kind of over before it started. Matthew Stafford doing Matthew Stafford things, falling apart at the end of the year. Offensive line, I told you guys, that's the reason when everybody's like the Rams. I mean, like I told you, this guy last week, like right now the Super Bowl played, I think it'd be the Rams, and I forgot I couldn't even think about his AFC team. I was like, the Rams? A team that's not even first in their division? A team that has no offensive line? The team that has a very weak interior defense? What? But let's be careful. You just got to watch out for this narrative. They're pushing LA, Los Angeles Chargers. Look how good they are. Look how great they are. My God, is anybody going to be able to stop the Rams? Hell yeah, they are. The Rams lost 3 in a row. Matthew Stafford has had as many pick sixes in the past 3 weeks as Aaron Rodgers has had in his 17-year career. Think about that. When you guys love to hate on Aaron Rodgers, he's only had 3 pick sixes his entire career. The Packers are good. They're going to move up in the power rankings. It just goes to show it doesn't matter how you can have the number 1 pass rusher gone. You can have the best cornerback in the NFL gone, Jair Alexander. Jalen Ramsey got burned by Devontae Adams, and he got outran by Aaron Rodgers with the broken foot, baby. I love it. I love seeing a one-legged Aaron Rodgers just beat the hell out of the NFL. He did it. He should have played Tom Brady and the Patriots in the Super Bowl when Seattle had that epic comeback. But he had a broke leg, and he was just steamrolling the NFL. This guy had a running touchdown and more passing touchdowns. I think that's the 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. He's like 3rd all time for games with a rushing and a rushing and a passing touchdown. I think Lamar, or who has more? Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson. I think that's it. Maybe Lamar doesn't even have more than it might have been another quarterback, Steve Young or something like that. But Aaron Rodgers is so underrated. If people spend as much energy trying to just build up Aaron Rodgers or look for all the great things in Aaron Rodgers as they did to just try to destroy him, it'd be impeccable. He's the best quarterback we've had in 40 years. Okay, and that's just how it is. And it's just fun to watch him go out there and destroy people. I mean, did you see some of those passes he threw against those Rams? I mean, there was not a centimeter of room for him to not to mess up, and he did it with one leg, with the backup offensive lineman, with his best pass pressure being down, with the best cornerback in the NFL gone, Jair Alexander. It doesn't matter. As long as you have Aaron Rodgers, you can win. They're talking surgery. He's got to think about life after football. I don't know what's going to happen. But the truth is Aaron Rodgers is so great. He's so, so great, man. That's just the bottom line. Browns at Ravens. People are like, what a crappy game. Just an awful game. Hey, it was a defensive game. I thought it was pretty great. I bet the people that betted the under on this game loved it. Did you see that guy? He had like the 12-game spread on all the overs and unders, and he had the final 2. He had over 40-something on the Ravens and the Browns. And somebody, like, he could have cashed out a $10 bet. It was like 3,600 or something that he could have cashed out. And they're like, are you cashing it out? And he's like, I ain't cashing out. Shit. Yeah, should have, buddy. All right, let's take a look at Seahawks at Washington from a fantasy perspective. I do like this. I think Scary Terry's probably going to have one of the best games out of anybody out here. Seattle doesn't have a great defense. On the flip side, Washington doesn't have a good defense. Who are they going to use to stop DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett? I don't know. I think from an offensive standpoint, who I would love to have in this game is Scary Terry, as well as Tyler Lockett, Gerald Everett, and DK Metcalf. I think Washington has a great chance to win this game. If they win this game, all of a sudden the NFC East is super wide open. Like, it's so wide open if they do that. We'll go over the standings here in a little bit. But I think Scary Terry could have a good game. Gibson's still missing with this like shin splint thing, but he hasn't missed any time. But I don't know. Eventually, you're going to get like Swift. And what I promised you would happen with Swift is he wasn't going to make it to the end of the season, and he wouldn't be there for you when you needed him in Week 15. Lo and behold, he's not going to be there. I don't know. I'm not sure Gibson's going to be able to hold up much longer either. He's been playing hurt all year, just like Swift has. They're trying to monitor his snap count, but it's just getting late in the year. It's going to be a late game. Those things don't really bode well for it. On the defensive side of the ball, I like Heineke too. I think he's going to do pretty well. He could rush. He could pass. There's some good things going on there. I think Jonathan Allen has a great chance to get a game. Somebody on that defensive line has to step up. I don't know if it's going to be Sweat. I don't know if it's going to be Allen, but one of those two have to step up and generate pressure on Russell Wilson because people have been able to get pressure on Russell Wilson all year. So somebody's going to have to do that. I do think Jordan Brooks, as long as he's playing, he's got a good chance to get a lot of tackles, particularly if Washington passes a lot. So check out that. Diggs, if things are getting behind him, that could happen as well at Seattle. Landon Collins has been playing great. He may have got hurt actually though last week. I need to check that out. But Holcomb has been playing well. Look for the secondary guys to make big plays. Fuller could be making a big play. Holcomb, like I told you. I expect Jordan Brooks. Of course, Bobby Wagner's the guy. You don't have to worry about much there. We'll just have to see. Jamal Adams, he was questionable. I'm pretty sure he's playing though. All right, let's take a look at some of the bets. The line is super tight. How about that? You can win money either way. Seahawks, -1. Washington football team +1, -110, 47 points on the over-under, -105 for the Washington football team, -115 for the Seahawks. Pretty good lines, my friend, pretty good lines. Let's take a look at the passing line on it as well. TD score, actually, let's look at that. Everybody loves that one. Everybody loves a TD. They're all plus odds because they don't know who's scoring a freaking touchdown. We got DK Metcalf +125. Then we have a triplet coming in at +130 of Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Alex Collins, Tyler Lockett +140, Logan Thomas +230. Oh, he is supposed to be activated for this game. Seals Jones is out. That might be a sneaky play. Logan Thomas anytime touchdown, baby. Curtis Samuel 275, DJ Dallas 250. J.D. McKenzie, 310. Ricky Seals-Jones is out. Don't buy that bait. Gerald Everett's all the way down at +380. Russell Wilson loves throwing to Gerald Everett. If you're feeling kind of lucky, maybe take that anytime touchdown. Quarterback props moving right along. We got Russell Wilson, 247.5. Taylor Heineke at 242.5. There is a special. We'll wait till the end and go over that. Passing touchdowns, 1.5 for each of them. -120 for Tyler Heineke, -125 for Russell Wilson. Bookies are telling you they expect there to be passing touchdowns. Okay, that's how that happens. We'll stay away from longest completion and pass attempts. Not my favorite stat. Rushing yards, Antonio Gibson, 65.5. By far the highest line. There's not a running back on DK for the Seattle Seahawks. Take that for what it's worth. Taylor Heineke's rushing line is 19.5. He's been rushing quite a bit. He can get some first downs with those wheels. Russell Wilson's is 15.5. He's running too, but he likes to throw. He doesn't run with the intent of scrambling. Those could be really good props right there. Both the quarterbacks over. Then J.D. McKenzie's at 18.5. We like to look at his receiving prop, though, 27.5. The highest receiving prop is DK Metcalf, 65.5. Terry McLaurin, 66.5. And then DK Metcalf at 65.5. Logan Thomas's line's at 30.5, man. That's not bad. I think he's going to get some looks against the safeties against Jordan Brooks. Receptions, the highest reception total as well as Terry McLaurin, 5.5. That's at a plus, though. That's at +110. DK Metcalf at 5.5, +125. Adam Humphries, 2.5. Antonio Gibson, 1.5. J.D. McKenzie has a 3.5 reception line. Watch out now. J.D. McKenzie's rush plus Receiving is at 49.5. That's a damn good line. I may take that one. He's been getting less snap count, but something tells me just Gibson's not going to be there this game. That's how I'm feeling about it. I don't do longest reception, as you guys know. Let's see. Haas. I know some of you like the Haas, but it's -1. Yeah, -1 for the Seahawks. So if you think Washington can come out and hit them in the mouth, it's a good game for Washington right now. Player parlays. I'm not going to read those. There's a lot going on right there. Weekly specials. Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, over 139.5 combined receiving yards. It's at +100. That's not a bad bet, huh? One of those guys can do that. So 2 of them should be able to do that. Jason Myers, 6.5 points. Field goals made. Myers, 1.5. Sly, 1.5. Both at +100 if you think either one of them will make a touchdown. We have no tackling props. It's the games tonight, and they don't have any fucking tackling props. What the hell? But I do feel good about anytime touchdown scorer Logan Thomas. I think that could surprise some people. I do like J.D. McKenzie's over rushing and receiving. I do like both the quarterbacks rushing line. I think they're both going to have to scramble tonight. Carlos Dunlap, Jamal Adams could generate some pressure, and these guys could just go for a run. I like it. Let's look at the odds boost. I know there was one for Heineke. His line was what? His line. Let's look at his line before we go look at this boost. His line's 242.5 on the passing, but if he goes over 300, Taylor Heineke to record 300 plus passing yards is at +450. So if you think he can get that extra 60, 70 yards, you get a major boost from it. It could happen. I just don't see Gibson doing much against this front seven against Jamal Adams. So I see them using McKenzie more, throwing more, getting more, exposing that bad secondary as much as possible. 14 points recorded in the first quarter. Stay away from that one. Dangerous for us, Russell Wilson to record 275 plus passing yards is only 225. So that's a way to think of it as well, right? All right, I broke down the fantasy. I broke down the betting for you guys. It's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. Hit me up with any of your lineup questions. Let's go set a DFS lineup. There's some good props on there. I just mentioned them. No tackling props, unfortunately. We'll get to that later. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.